Yo, what is up with y'all boys and girls, man? Hey, it's Jay Briggs here with my afternoon live show, man. I haven't done it all week, man. There's been some technical difficulties going on with me here, man. I had no internet. I'm battling a lot of things, but we're here on a Friday talking some NFL football. Got a great weekend of football action coming up with college football tomorrow, and then, of course, NFL on Sunday. We're going to talk some NFL. Um, you know, they gave us another snooze fest last night, but that's Thursday night football for you right now. I got two guys with me, man, that I absolutely love talking football with, man. I think two guys that can definitely help put us some money in our pocket for this weekend. Let's pop them both on the screen. Just say what's up, then we'll go with the schedule as regular schedule programming. We got Big Al McMorty and we got Costi. What's up, fellas?
Not much. Just enjoying the slower week this week before the big games this weekend.
Yes, sir. What's up, Costi?
I'm doing well, man. It's like kind of like the calm before the storm, where you're just excited and you're ready for a big card, and usually you have that baseball during the week, at least for the last 5 months, where we're constantly getting a full schedule. And like today, very small card in college football. Standalone island games are not usually my specialty. I'm sure Al could attest to that. And it's just I'm ready to roll Saturday and Sunday, and we'll talk a lot of football here, so I'm pumped.
Pumped as well. I'm pumped as well. The season moving kind of right along. We're now entering week 5 of NFL football. I feel like last week, man, we were like, is it week 1? I'm ready for week 1. Now we're here week 5. Al, of course, we already broke all these games down on Wednesday. We went through every single game. But, lines move.
Yeah.
And things change, from early in the week. I love doing that show early in the week, getting a good early look, getting a good, foundation for what I'm doing for the rest of the week. And then we're here on Friday, 2 days before. Still, I think we're still going to see some line movement. And there's still going to be some little nuggets that I can pry out of you two guys to help us make some money for this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, actually, the game I wanted to talk about was one of the lines that did move. On the Wednesday show. I talked about the over/under for the New England-New Orleans game. But now I'm going to look at the side because the lines moved from -1.5 to pick 'em.
Yep.
And yeah, so I mean, I like New England at pick 'em. You've got the Patriots suffering that huge blowout loss last week, 38-3 to your Cowboys, and take a look at how they've done under Belichick. The last 21 years they've gone 43-11 with a push ATS in the regular season off a loss if they weren't favored by 7 or more points in the current game. And then NFL teams off losses by 28 or more points, they've gone 86-52 ATS as home dogs or pick 'em versus non-division foes. So we've now got this point spread at pick 'em and moves into the price range where New England becomes a really nice play.
Big Al McMorty, like in the New England Patriots, last week was the worst loss in Bill Belichick's head coaching career. 38-3. That's the biggest deficit he's ever lost by.
Wow.
This I would say this is one of the worst New England teams, but good head coaches in the NFL usually bounce back. And expecting Bill Belichick back at home against another mediocre team in a bounce back spot, I don't think is a bad place to be. I don't. I think New England is kind of sneakily flying under the radar now at this point at 1-3.
Well, another thing we talked about on the show on Wednesday, and one of the things that does give me a little bit of pause for this game is that New Orleans hasn't covered the spread yet this season. And, in game 5, those teams tend to, rise to the occasion, so to speak. We saw what the Chicago Bears did yesterday after not covering the spread once in the first 4 games. They blow out Washington. We've got now, we've got 5 teams left to go that are winless ATS. Of course, some of them have pushed, but still they haven't won any game ATS. And those 5 would be Carolina, the Giants, New Orleans, the Cincinnati Bengals, and Denver. So that's the only thing that gives me pause here for the Patriots, that, it's not like New Orleans is tearing up the joint either. but I like New England.
I think these teams might be watching the show. I stamped the Cardinals as the worst team in the league. They came out and won great against the Cowboys. The Bears were stamped as the worst team in the league. They came and looked really good last night. I'm just playing. That's the NFL. You know, it's a lot of that. Costa, you got anything to add here on this Patriots Saints game?
Well, I actually wanted to ask Al a question. Because I'm always fascinated by sharps. That's the people that I associate with, a lot of the groups that I deal with. How much emphasis do you put into past statistical data, like coming off a 28-point shredding, versus just the line itself? Like, do you value them equally versus, let me phrase this correctly, if you're just using statistical data from past, 20 years of experience, or does the line tell you itself early in the week that that's the right move?
I value the situation much more than the line. You have to value both, but the situation is what's going to dictate the play for me.
Good to know. See, I'm old, just like you, Jay. I'm always learning.
Everyone's different. I mean, I'm very much a situational handicapper. So yeah, the situation will motivate the play.
I respect that.
I mean, if it's a bad situation and you have maybe a line that's favorable, I'm not making that play.
Well, if Al has a full all access pass right now where you can get every single one of his games. He's never done this before. Jay, the guy releases more games than I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's not true.
I'm telling you, this is real work, guys. If you're watching the show, he kindly asked me, he goes, do you think your clients, would they accept 3:00 in the morning game? Like, send it. And look, if the number is right, and it's all about time when you're betting these games. And typical situation, just for myself, I gave out Chicago Bears +7. Of course, we have clients that decide to wait till the last minute and the line moves down. I told them to pass. And then I always get the pushback. Well, they blew them out. Well, that's not the point. The point is to get the right price with a key number at a reduced juice rate. And most gamblers just can't understand that. It's just not in their DNA to understand value, where I'm going for EV, positive expected value, and they're just going for an opinion or the after effect of, wow, that was a blowout. That was easy. Well, you could say that, but 7 is much different than 6. And if you're constantly going to lose that price, you're going to lose more times in the long run than you win. So it's a learning curve for everybody, but that's the cool part about this platform and Pick Dogs, where there's so many different people that produce amazing content and produce a lot of wins. I mean, I've seen it firsthand. So it's going to be fun the rest of football season. And as we dive into basketball, I mean, it's just going to be a lot of fun.
Yep. I cannot wait. He was talking about it briefly. Big Al, tell them about the All Access Club you have.
Yeah, if folks want to join, you can text Big Al to 775-636-7676. You'll get all of my games rated. So if I've got 12 plays on a day, you'll have them rated, 1 through 12. So if you want, you can focus on the top games. You can focus on all the games. The other thing is, if there's a game that's not on our card that you want an opinion on, you can let us know. It could be 5 minutes before the game time. We'll get you what we think is the right side for the game. And we've got a lot of guys who are betting, 10,000, 5,000, 20,000 a game. And that's a swing. If you're betting 20,000 on a game, that's a $42,000 swing. You don't want to be on the wrong side. Right. And so it's very important to get the sharp information. And also, we also, as Kasi alluded to, the games are put out early. And so far this year, we've had 3 or 4 games that we won or push instead of pushing or losing just because they were put out early. And you guys can do the math. I mean, if you're betting 10 times on a game and you win instead of lose just because you bet it on Tuesday instead of Friday, that's $21,000.
I remember some of them too. It was the Bengals Monday night that moved from when you put it out at 1 and moved all the way to 3 at game time.
Well, I'm thinking also the Rams game.
The Rams game,
8.5 to 7. Yep. The Falcons against Green Bay goes from plus 1.5 to minus 2.5. You've got the Notre Dame goes from plus 3.5 to plus 3. So we won instead of push, but it happens a lot, and you've got to be on the right side of this place.
There you go, man. Big Al McMorty. I call him one of the GOATs in the industry for a reason, man. You could check out his regular handicapping page. Check out the All Access Club. However fits you best, man. You can do it over at Pick Dogs Premium. That's why I love it the absolute most. Let's see if there's anything else I want to ask Big Al before I let him go.
Also, Jay, when you text Big Al, you're going to get a guy that is bald and has a big beard that will call you instantaneously. That has to be noted. His name starts with an E and ends with a C.
Or like I say, Mr. Dom Club.
Mr. Dom Club, yeah.
Good old Eric. I was just scrolling down the card, see if there was any other big discrepancy from the other day. I don't really see anything huge.
I got one for Al if you don't have one.
Yeah, let's ask him. I got to get the best information out of him while I have him here. He's already here.
This is a big one. Jay. Al, I know this is a football show, but if you had to bet on the series winner, would you bet on the Orioles or the Rangers?
I would take the Rangers mainly because of the home run discrepancy between the two teams.
Sweating over
Rangers hit a lot more home runs than Baltimore this year. So, if I can get the Rangers, obviously you've got two huge favorites that hit a lot more home runs. Atlanta and the Dodgers, led the way with, I think, what was it, 307 and 249 in home runs. But, you're laying a big price in those series. But, Minnesota hit more home runs than Houston, and Texas hit more home runs than Baltimore. And you're getting those teams that, not underdog prices, Rangers plus 105 and the Twins, plus 135, 140. So I think they're live dogs. Minnesota and Texas are very much live underdogs.
Hey man, I got some plus money with them in the first round, and I was sure on my way to try to grab it in the second round yesterday. And it was minus 115 and minus 105 yesterday, and I was like, what the hell, man? Are they on to me?
They listen. They watch the shows, man.
It's
the books. It's not even just the teams. They watch the books. Watch the shows.
It's gonna be interesting. I can't wait. I will definitely be in the building.
I notice how I'm not asking Costy what he thinks because I know the answer.
Well, I feel like it's like I'm fairly new to this platform, so I haven't been doing videos for more than a month and a half. But every time I come on, there's somebody trashing. Either it's the Ravens. I mean, Mitch said last week.
That's how it works here. That's how it works. If you got a favorite team, they get trashed.
He said the backup, I'm not even going to mention the guy's name on Cleveland, was better than Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
He went on the Sunday show.
I used to call Dallas home and I used to call Maryland home. So I like both franchises. I've got no bias. I'll be happy if either one of them win. But it's hard. I wouldn't want to be laying, wouldn't want to be, I'm taking the underdog in that series, I guess is the best way to say it.
Yeah, it's a coin flip series. It really is.
Yeah.
We'll be discussing it more and more as the week goes on.
Of course, talk about it tomorrow as well, man. Game day, game one. Big Al McMorty, about how many plays? I know you already have them in, so how many plays do you have?
Well, I'm not done. I'm holding back on a few.
Oh, there you go. About how many plays do you think you'll have for this weekend? College football and NFL. You can do both.
Yeah, no, they're already posted over on the premium side, posted at Pick Dogs if folks want to check it out, or they can join the Big Al All Access Club as well. I'm probably going to have in college, 13 strong plays plus additional plays. In the NFL, it's probably going to be 7 or 8 strong plays plus some additional plays as well.
There you go. There you go.
But I was laughing before when Costy said he's never seen someone release this many games. I mean, obviously, Kasi, you don't know Joe Gavazzi, you don't know Kelso Sturgeon. I know a lot of guys who are high volume handicappers.
Oh no, I was kidding a little bit when I said that. I've seen it all to the point where it's unmanageability to a recreational bettor to follow, because a lot of people.
It depends on. Well, it just depends on the person. Everyone has different, styles, tastes, whatever. A lot of guys like to bet a lot of games. A lot of guys don't like to bet a lot of games.
It's just, it's there's so many different ways that you could be successful, and I've seen both sides of it. So, and I'm never the smartest guy in the room. I'm always learning. I'm always being educated, and it's definitely comes at a premium.
I was talking to a client yesterday, and he was on the other side of the fence. He likes less games, and I said to him, I says, well, I says, if you don't know what you're doing, then it's irrelevant if you have a lot of games or few games, because you're just not going to win. But if you do know what you're doing, then higher volume is better because you're going to win more. So that's the way I look at it. I'm not passing up, positive EV plays. I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me.
There you go. Big Al McMorty. Guys, in the comments, if you got any questions for either of these two guys, well, I got them. Y'all better get them in now before I let them go. Let's see. I'm trying to think, man. I don't really have anything else for you guys.
We could do some game breakdowns if you want. It's up to you. People want to know.
What are you looking at, Kasi, this week?
What's that?
What game are you looking at?
Well, I really like. Let's see. I want to give you look in here. You guys are more ready than I am. I'm always just putting them out and moving on. So we have with the line. Let's see if it's still. I really still like the Jags getting 6, staying at home. I think the Bills is a typical letdown spot. They had a big blowout game. Now they travel across the pond. The I've never seen that before, where they stay in England for another week.
It's the first time, I think.
First time. And the Jags play very well over there. I think the Jags have been underperforming the entire season.
The London
I like 6. I think they're definitely rising, and they have a lot of room for improvement on defense, but they played great on defense last game. So again, I'm not going to judge the Falcons versus the Bills. Much different offense, much different experienced quarterback. But I love that 6 for basically a home game, but it's rated when they put it out as really a neutral game. If it was at home, I think the Jags would be getting 4.5, 5. So the fact that I can grab 6, and I think it's 5.5 at the moment. When we gave it out, it's 5.5 at most spots. When we gave it out, it was at 6 early in the week. So we were on them last week, and we're going to do it again.
Do you think that there's value on Jacksonville just purely because Buffalo has scored 38, 37, 48 points in 3 straight weeks?
Me or Costi?
Both.
Okay.
You can go ahead, Al. You're the stat guy.
Teams that do that have tend to underperform in that 4th game. So yes, there's from a situational handicapping standpoint, yes, there's value on Jacksonville.
And then, it's the same thing with the Miami game last week. I love the Bills for that exact reason, to have that 70-point outburst. You're due for a letdown. And I do believe, even situationally, that Jacksonville didn't have to travel. They practiced, in England. It's basically been a good routine every night and the same schedule versus a team traveling there, uprooting their schedule. That plays into effect. I don't know how much. I know in college, I used to dive into this a lot more for travel schedules. But look, you're flying, not that you're flying from the West Coast, but you're still flying 5-6 hours to get there, get settled in. It definitely uproots your whole entire schedule. And, Jacksonville was there. So, again, not saying the Bills are going to win, Jacksonville is going to win this game outright, but getting a 6 for basically almost a home game, because you saw the fans in the stands. It's Jacksonville's owned by an owner who owns an English Premier League team. So they have a ton of fans. Yeah, they have a ton of fans in the stands. So it accounts for something. I wouldn't consider it a home game, but it does.
I'm with you. I call them the London Jags. That's their home away from home. They've played more games over there than any other team, and the fans over there have adopted them. I'm a little nervous. Buffalo has looked really explosive, and they really nailed it to Miami, who I thought was, really showing, that they were one of the top tier teams in the NFL. Now, I still think that the problem with Buffalo starts with their quarterback, 1-7. When he's on, they're one of the best teams in the league. When he's off, they'll lose to the New York Jets. So it's what Josh Allen shows up. Does he protect the football, and can the Jags defense create some turnovers? And I think the answer to all that is yes. I think Buffalo might win the game, but I think Jacksonville has a legitimate shot to win it outright. And like you said, getting points plus all the situational stuff, I think is a great place to be. The game I'm going to talk about is I think, it's really interesting. I want to look at the Bengals and the Cardinals. This game has me on the fence. I've been on the fence on it since we talked about it on Wednesday, Al. I took the Cardinals on the show, believe it or not, plus the 3. I really believe it's the right place to be. Based off what I've seen with my eyes thus far this year, this season and this season alone, plus the 3 with the Cardinals is the play. I have not seen the Bengals that have gone to the AFC Championship game in years past. And I preference this by saying at the start of the year, my Super Bowl was Dallas-Cincinnati. I love the Cincinnati Bengals. I think Joe Burrow is the second best quarterback in the league, but I think that injury's bugging him. I think the offensive line is still a problem like it has been in years past. T. Higgins now banged up. You got Jamar Chase kind of unhappy not getting the football. Defensively, they haven't stacked up quite as well. The Cardinals, man, they've been flying under the radar, man. They've played everybody they played fairly tough. Had a lead at halftime in the first 3 games. Damn near covered last week against the best team, in my opinion, right now in the NFL, the San Francisco 49ers. We'll see if that holds true throughout the weekend. But I just think there's value on Arizona, man. And I think I have to grab the 3 with the Cardinals here. I think it's the right place to be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's value on Arizona. I think the value obviously has been eroded. I mean, you take a look at what the line would have been. You see the openers, range from 4 or 5. Bet365 had it at 8. Yep. I mean, all the value has been eroded. For me, I think if I could get Cincinnati at -2, now I'm really interested. At 3, I'm kind of on the fence. I like Cincinnati before I like Arizona. Again, I'll go back to what I mentioned, a little while ago. Cincinnati was one of the 6 teams that hadn't covered the spread yet.
Right.
Arizona, on the other hand, 3-1 ATS. So 3 is kind of the balancing point spread, where it's kind of like right on maybe the right number. If you can get under 3, now you're talking.
How often do good teams that cover against bad teams that don't cover?
Yeah, but is that the situation? Now I would say this is a team where it's a good team that's not covering versus a bad team that is covering.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the Cardinals, they have been covering, and the Bengals have not. So usually it goes the opposite way. Usually.
Well, I mean, no, it's. I'm just saying early on. I'm saying in week 5. I mean, I'm not talking about week 13
I understand.
I'm just saying that, so from my perspective, the bookmaker has really adjusted this number and has already taken into account how poorly Cincinnati is playing and how well Arizona is playing. I don't think you're getting any value on Arizona.
So, Jay, what's funny is while I'm sitting here, because like I said, I've been dealing with sharps for a decade now, but most sharps don't give me a breakdown. They just give me the play. They tell me to play it, and that's it. Seriously. Hearing Al not only rate his games, which is the first time that I've ever seen a sharp actually do it, because they They're just throwing in volume. They're betting their own games. They're just putting in as much on the price that they want. So it's hard to consult, and it's hard to, get that product out to market to the clients that actually want to follow those games. The fact that Al rates them and then on top of it gives you a breakdown that is a language we could understand, because I've been on
I could talk in a language you can't understand.
I know. I don't want to hear that.
Point spread differential and home road line differential. I could do all that, but I choose to try to
and that's
not bore people with all the math and the numbers.
And that's the amazing part, that it's going to be a game changer. The fact that we have this all access pass on the platform is going to be a game changer to a lot of people, because this is brand new. We've only been doing this for 2 weeks now, where we actually put it to market. So I'm excited for that as well. I know Eric is. He's not in the office right now, but if he was, he probably would have run in already and popped his head in like he normally does. But yeah, it's fascinating to me, because I know the game, I know the players. I'm more of an eyeball test guy, but I don't know the nuances except reading a Don Best or a Spank Odds screen and being able to analyze where the sharp money's moving. But outside of that, I'm not using, the 3 decades of data that Al is staring at as we speak. That's the juice. That's really where you could find some gold nuggets every single weekend.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
Well, anything else, man, before I let you fellas go?
Ravens. I actually wouldn't even, but I wouldn't play him this week, though. I don't like 4. If anything, I'd be on Pittsburgh. I don't bet with as much as I just won't bet in terms of my personally, but I'm a facilitator of games. So if my sharps come in on Pittsburgh, which they probably will, I think they're just waiting because the injury is an offset. Now, this is another question for Al, that I brought it up. When you're factoring in an early week spread and there's an injury concern, sometimes that's factored into the line that you would know. Sometimes it's not, and you rate the line based on the secondary player not being worth a point.
Wait. If the injury is a known injury, it is factored into the line. So even if for example, if a guy is questionable, there's going to be probabilities. It might be, okay, he's 65% that he's going to play and he's 35% that he's not going to play. And then that percentage or whatever, you're assessing it at, you're going to know his value, and then you're going to have the probabilities, multiply times his value. And so it's all factored in to the line. It's the thing you can't control are injuries that are unknown at the time, where they just surprise you. And that's 50-50, because, if you find out that someone that wasn't on anyone's radar is injured, you can't control that. But the injuries, as long as they're known, that's all factored into the line.
There you go. There you go, Jay. So yeah, don't take the Ravens. That's the key here. Is 4 is a bad, lands on 3. Al could look it up and see how many times this rivalry has landed on 3. I'm interested to see how many times has it landed on 3 in this rivalry.
Yeah, well, they've played close games, but the question is how. The other question you have to ask is how many of those times was the point spread 6? If a game lands on 3 and the point spread 6, what's the difference?
Right.
I'm gonna ask you guys a question, and we can get out of here. Since 2021, who are the top 3 teams ATS in the NFL? You guys know? Since 2021.
Oh, boy. Off the top of my head, Cincinnati Bengals.
They're 4.
Oh.
I'll give you the Eagles.
They are not.
Oh, boy.
The Philadelphia Eagles since 2021 are 20, and 2 ATS.
49ers?
49ers are 3 at 28-16 since
Detroit Lions?
Detroit Lions are number 1 at 12.
Wow.
You know who's number 2?
Who's number 2? I've got no idea.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Of course. We are. Come on. It set us up. That was a setup.
But we did pretty good. We didn't guess anyone that was number 22.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go. I just thought it was interesting. I was looking it up earlier.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I thought we did pretty good on that quiz.
Well, you did pretty good, Al. I'll take the credit though. I'll take
Let me
it.
just see what the
I got 9th. That was the best I got.
Okay, hold on. So you want to know about how many times it's landed on exactly 3?
Right.
Bear with me. So Baltimore has lost by exactly 13 times. Let me see how many times Pittsburgh's lost by exactly 3. And Baltimore has won by exactly 12 times. So that's 25 combined. And how many times have they played since 1980?
No, we haven't played since
25 out of 91. 25 out of 91.
96.
Oh, I'm Baltimore.
Yeah, we're not calculating the Colts here anymore.
Well, I mean, I do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just look at the franchise. So yeah, I don't. It's including the, whatever.
But were they even a
rivalry? Including the Colts. I mean, how many times was it? What year did they move to Baltimore?
96.
96. Okay.
I don't even think they were in the same division as the Steelers before.
No, it was before 96 because they were playing twice a year in 94.
The Ravens.
93.
It wasn't the Ravens. Ravens became a franchise in 96.
Okay.
Maybe.
You sure? Sure it wasn't 83?
It's 96.
No, it's 96.
It's 96.
83 is when I was born, though. So yes.
I'll figure it out.
There you go.
That's a lot. Still
25. So what was it? 25 of 91?
Yeah, but I don't,
That's still a
we didn't have Al prepared. That's why
that's right.
I could see the wheels turning right now.
Still.
We're live. That's what happens.
The information.
A lot of times.
A lot of times.
What was that one stat I had on Wednesday that the underdog in this series, if it has the losing record, is now 12-0-1 ATS the last 12?
Wow. Even more of a reason to take the Steelers.
I'm nervous. That whole division, every game that they play just gives me bad vibes. Like
every game.
Yeah, every game in that division. When they play each other, just give me bad vibes. It's like in some divisions, like, okay, this team beats this team no matter how good they are. It don't matter. Like in that division, it's just an all-out war every time.
It was supposed to be one of the top divisions in the AFC, and from what it's looking like, never judge a team based on preseason, where the Steelers were just playing all their guys and they were scoring a lot of points, and everybody put them on a pedestal.
Now they trying to fire Matt Canada. The kicker and the OC are beefing.
Oh, they shouldn't even be talking.
There was there's some reports that the OC had made a burner account and has been like tweeting like over the past couple of weeks, and they found it. Like some fans found it and they traced it back to his actual email, so they think it's really him. And it's crazy that like 75% of the tweets on the account are just him like defending himself, talking bad about like Pickens, the kicker. It's kind of crazy. So, I like little stories like that. But that's going to conclude the show, man. I appreciate everybody joining us today. I appreciate Big Al McMurdy and Costi for joining me today, man. Check out Big Al McMurdy over at Pick Dogs Premium. Check out the All Access Club. You can call the Dime Club. You can check out Sharp Trading Plays with Mike. Click the drop down on the Premium Picks tab on the website. And that's going to conclude it, man. I'll be back in about an hour with Tony T. I'll probably talk some baseball with Tony T, man, for the weekend. And I'll be back tomorrow morning to host the morning show with all the guys. Should be a lot of fun. Red River Rivalry. I cannot wait, man. It's going to be a hell of a one. Both undefeated.
I've been there before. I went to the Red River Rivalry.
Yeah.
I can't even say that. It's like a Red River Rivalry. Yeah.
Have you guys both been to the State Fair?
So I got a ticket to the State Fair, but I went in and I sat on the Texas side.
You been to the State Fair actually, Big Al, and ate and stuff?
When I lived in Dallas, I can't even remember.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure I have.
Yeah.
One of the coolest experiences I've ever had.
Yeah.
Where they chopped the stadium in half. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow, man. Just make some money this weekend. I'll see all you guys soon, man. I appreciate the guys joining me, and we're out of here today.
Have a good one.
Peace.